Hola.
I get lost in the stars when I'm with you every day. I get lost in the atmosphere.
Hello, my name is Ehiz Ufuah. I am 22. I'm based in London and I'm known for being an actor and also being a creator on TikTok. For me, Black History Month means a lot to me. Me being black myself, as you can see, black people are the blueprint. You know, we have created and made a lot of things that, you know, people are inspired by today when it comes to music, when it comes to food, when it comes to culture. In general, black people are, you know, the pioneers.
Hi, my name is Stephen K. Amos, and I'm known for being a stand-up comedian. I've appeared on comedy shows, on television, and all around the world. What does Black History Month mean to me? It means conversations, it means dialogue, it means all the stuff about Black history that I wasn't taught in primary school. It means that people can look back and celebrate all the contribution that we have made as a society to the British way of life.
Hi, you all right?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm very, very well. I'm Stephen.
I'm Ehiz.
Ehiz.
Nice to meet
Do you know what? I'm going to ask you a question quickly. Do you have any idea who I am?
No.
Thank you. I thought not. I'm a man who is old enough to be your dad. I started comedy in 1997. So I've been doing comedy for a long time, all over the world, and people kind of like my stuff. And I thought, okay, I'm going to look this young man up. I looked you up, and Shay! Lord have mercy. First and foremost, I need to big you up.
Thank
right?
you.
Because you're a TikTok superstar.
Yeah.
And to put things in context, I'm still on MySpace.
Oh, well, you got a long way to go.
Exactly. So I can learn a lot from you, right? And I did some research looking at your content, and we got a lot of crossover, yeah? Because your background is?
Nigerian.
Exactly,
Yeah.
as is mine.
I don't know why I thought you would be Caribbean.
No, sir. People think that because of my name. No. My real name is Adebowale Kinde Omoloshola.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't really translate quite quickly. So yeah, very much Nigerian background, and a lot of my comedy came from my experiences, you know, growing up, born and raised in this country, and I saw a lot of your stuff, which was not similar, but also touched on your own culture in a very unapologetic way, which I loved. You've got like over 1 million, are they called disciples? What are they called? Followers.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I need to get the lingo right.
Yeah.
Over 1 million.
10.7 right now.
How much?
10.7.
10.7.
Yeah.
Now, just to put that into context, that is more than TV programs get average viewing figures.
Sometimes I don't deep it. I feel because on the inside looking out, I'm just doing my thing, like no production set at home. And I forget that, oh, you actually have such a huge fat influence. And it's like, wow, like, you're not a small boy anymore. He's like, it's actually a big thing. Like, it's, like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it's actually huge.
It's massive.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That is one of the joys of seeing young people, because you're 22.
Yeah.
You see, I could be your dad.
Yeah.
Sometimes, maybe even your granddad.
Wow.
No, I couldn't. Come
Okay.
on. I respect you and the young generation for finding a platform to display your talent and not waiting for people to come and find you.
Being black specifically, black people have it harder anyway. So it's like you have to make a way for yourself. That's why like many people always say, oh, do you want to do like TV in the UK? I mean, if an opportunity comes, great, but there's nothing that's out there that I see myself in or a reflection of what I see myself in. So that's why like I write and produce my own content. So it's content that I could potentially see myself in.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't wait for anybody, just do it yourself, because sometimes the opportunity won't come. It probably won't come if you don't do it. So it's like, sometimes you need to trigger the opportunities to come by you putting your own, you know, your own 2 pence into something.
You yourself have amassed 10 point something. People can't ignore you.
Yeah, they
Do you know what I
can't,
mean?
even if they try.
Even if they try, they have to come to you. But back in my day, I had to graft, I did some stuff, and I've got many radio series under my... You know, young man, Google me. Just Google me. Then you know the royalty that is sat before you.
Have a look.
So our stuff went on before. It's interesting you say that you saw no one that sort of spoke to you. That's exactly how I felt when I was growing up. because back in the late 70s, 80s, the kind of comedy and stuff on TV was very much white, mother-in-law jokes, racist jokes, sexist jokes, homophobic jokes, none of which appealed to me. And then fast forward all these years, and to see people like you paving the way, do you have any idea the influence that you have?
Sometimes I do when I look at comments and messages and stuff. It does definitely ring a bell. But I feel like sometimes it's when I'm out in public, that's when it's like, oh wow, he's like, you're actually quite a big deal. Like, it's not a small thing. Every encounter, every moment, every opportunity, like, is building up my portfolio. Like, it's something that I've always wanted to do. Okay. You know, you have some people be like, oh, did you ever see yourself doing something? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I just didn't know when it was gonna happen. But, you know, I did know that, like, I was always destined to do stuff like this. And I'm just so grateful. Like, I don't see myself doing anything else.
I will be telling people that I am your influencer, that it was because of me you've done what you were doing. I'm gonna be holding on to your coattails.
I don't know if that...
Just say, yes, that's okay.
Okay.
Will you at least consider putting me on one of your TikToks?
Yeah.
Let's read the cards.
Let's read the cards.
Why did you choose comedy as the route you wanted to take?
I think for me, comedy has been like my escape route for me. I went through quite a lot at school. Didn't really know where like I belonged. And I kind of felt like for me, it was always trying to find the good out of the bad. And I've always been like, you know, an animated child. I've always, you know, loved making people laugh. I've always been very creative. And I thought, okay, why not use that to my advantage and like turn a mess into a message? Turn what was, you know, traumatic for me and, you know, make that therapeutic, make that something that, you know, could make somebody else's day.
Okay, it was quite similar to my experience. I didn't think there was an outlet for the comedy. I just knew a bit like yourself. I'm a bit of a funny kid. However, the thing was, I come from a big family, right? 6 siblings.
Same.
And you had to just fight for attention. There's nothing worse than sitting around the dinner table, all the siblings. My mother leans to my brother, points to me and says, who is this child here in my house? So you had to kind of do something.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that now you've used that as a positive. Because I ended up studying law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that is quite a Nigerian. If law, it's medicine.
Yeah, it was very much so appease the parents. And look at me now.
Doing well. As many others do you see yourself as a pioneer?
Well, that's very interesting. A question coming from you, who has no fucking clue who I am. Do you know what it was? I'll say for me, because I've had a couple of series on the BBC, probably when you were still in primary school. It didn't occur to me the full impact of what I was doing. Maybe I was quite naive, because first of all, it was Lenny Henry, you had a show, and then nothing for a long time. I did a joke that's kind of taken on by a lot of people. In fact, like it says the BBC has a diversity policy, and apparently I've got to wait for Lenny Henry to die. You know, 1 in, 1 out, let's not rock the boat. Because it's always 1 in, 1 at a time.
Well, why is that though?
And I never knew. Well, I'll give you an example. I went to have a meeting years ago with an executive, and he said to me, Stephen, you're funny. You're ready now. It's them. He points out a window, there's nobody there, and he goes, they're not ready for you. I'm like...
Well, they need to catch up.
They need to absolutely catch up. And you know who's in the power to make them ready? You.
But you know what it is? It's so annoying because everyone's like, oh, you'll make it so big in like UK TV. The phones are silent.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so annoying because like prior to like my growth on social media, it was always like, oh, you know, you need the growth, you need the engagement, you need the followers. Now that I'm at that level, it's like, what else do you want? And it's like, you know what? I'm like, then I realized I'm not the problem. It's just people in the industry who are just very slow.
Exactly.
You know, and when I look at like American culture and American TV, you know, like right now, in normal circumstances, I should really have been on like 4 or 5 or 6 covers right now. Front cover, no blurb. And it's like, why am I not on there? Being in a social media creator, like life's very unpredictable. Like last week I was asked for me to go to Ibiza for 5 days. I couldn't go because like mentally, like I wasn't ready to go. And I had a lot of things going on as well. But it was like, yeah, anything can happen. You know, I could get a call right now to go to LA for a casting. You never know.
You never know.
So at this point, it's like right now, it's like, Ehiz, like, take everything in, be grateful, because many people are dying to be in my position right now. And, you know, I'm just going with the vibes.
But if it happens again and you can't go to Ibiza or LA, hook a brother up, okay?
I'll let him know.
My first proper TV comedy spot, my first live at the Apollo, right? And thankfully it went well. literally the next day, so many young black guys and girls stopped me from that day forth and said, thank you for representing. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Many black people feel like when they're put out on the forefront, like put on this pedestal, it's like all eyes are on them. And it's like, okay, you can't mess up. You can't, obviously, like that goes for anybody, black, white, blue, orange, green, whatever. You know, are a public figure and you're put on this platform and people are watching you. Like I was in the content house this year and I was the first, you know, black creator to be in the content house. And people were like, Ehiz, like, you're really like doing it for the Nigerians, you're doing it for the blacks, you're doing it for like people of color, like don't mess up.
Exactly.
And I didn't mess up anyway, because like you know, I know how to behave. So you know, it's...
You feel a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
do.
pressure.
Yeah.
So, why TikTok?
When it came to TikTok, it was really, it wasn't planned, very unplanned. Prior to going on TikTok, I actually took like 2 years off of social media because I felt like I burnt out. I tried to do every trend. I've been doing it since like 2011, social media, and it just was not working. So I thought, what is it about TikTok that's gonna work? And within that 2-year break, I was seeing so many trends come out of the blue and I was like, you know, I really wanna do this, but I'm like, Ehiz, no, like leave it for now. Like just go to work, go to uni, do your everyday activities, go to church, do whatever you need to do. And then it was just before the lockdown, like started lockdowning. And I was like, you know what, Ehiz, just go on the app, just see what it's about. Because my sister was like, Ehiz, you need to go. I'm like, what is the big deal?
Just for lockdown, just this lockdown?
Yeah, the 2020, that went by, yeah.
And you've amassed all this?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna cry. Are you serious?
I'm being serious.
I was in my house drinking beer.
Saturday I filmed it. The next day was Sunday, and in the morning I don't go on my phone or anything. And my phone was on flight mode the whole day. When the lesson finished, I went on my phone and then my sister literally like sent me like a shed load of messages saying OMG in capitals. Don't know why she's typing in capitals because I can't hear her shouting, but typing all these things. She's like, OMG, 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 you're famous on TikTok. I'm like, shut up. Because I know she likes to like play a lot. 100K, 400K, 600K. And I'm looking at all these views and said, okay, let me go on the app. And the app, my account was blowing up. I was like, what is going on?
This is a different world to me, because when someone said to me TikTok, I checked the hallway and the grandfather clock, because I was like, what's that noise? Your stuff that I've seen, you direct it, you edit it, the production values are really good, it's slick.
If you could give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
It's not what you think you know, it's knowing who to ask. Because there are opportunities, there are doors opening now. But for many years, I was one of those people who just said, you know what, that's not meant for me. I'm not meant to get that. I'm not meant to achieve that. But you know what? Yes, you are.
It's just the culture of, especially like growing up in London, it's always this thing of, oh, don't think too highly of yourself. And I hate that, because that's why many people are not thriving, because, you know, they're too timid within themselves. And then if you show how confident you are and how, you know, you deserve certain things, you're then seen as arrogant. But it's this idea of you can never be right. Yeah, you can never get anything right, you know?
Coming from a Nigerian household, my parents were very strict when I was growing up. And their whole thing was get an education, you know, because, and I can understand what they meant, because when you have a degree, nobody can take that away from you, nobody. Whether you get a job or not, it's another thing. But going into comedy, you know, that was like, no, but only because they couldn't see where that would end up. And so they were fearful for me. Not that they didn't want me to pursue it, but they were fearful, right? So my mum would say things like, oh, so many mistakes. And which I'd say to her, you know, Mum, there's no such thing in life as mistakes, only lessons. To which she replied, okay, you were a lesson.
Wow.
Harsh, isn't it? That is a joke. How do you cope with the pressures of the modern world when you're creating your content?
I feel like now it's much harder for people, young, old, no matter what age you are, to, you know, be strong on social media, because, you know, there's this thing called cancel culture and everybody looks for every opportunity to bring you down. And no matter what happens, the good always outweighs the bad always. But unfortunately, there's always some people who are just waiting, like, as if like a predator, waiting for its prey for their downfall. And for me, it's crazy. It's like, you just don't want to see a black boy win. Like, you just want to see it. And it's like, why can't you just be happy for people? But I thought for many people, a coping mechanism for them is to watch somebody fall and crumble in order for them to get to where they need to be. But I thought one thing they don't realize is that they're actually blocking their own blessing by doing that. I'm low-key grateful that I went through what I went through at school. You know, the bullying, you know, the not being picked when it's time to do football, all these things. And, you know, I feel like it kind of like helped me because it's left a lot of emotional scarring. But for me, it's built me up to this level. Because now, when it comes to hate, I feel like no matter who you are on social media, there's only a certain amount of hate you can, like, you know, get that can get to you. But I feel like I've really dealt with it quite well. I'm quite numb to it. So when people say certain things, they want a reaction. I'm like, okay, like, what happens now?
See, I get that, and I think, because having seen your stuff, as I keep saying, it's edgy, but it's not controversial. Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard you swear, for example.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not my caliber. Like,
so I think someone like you will be fine. Yeah. But my thing with the whole social media thing is the engagement, right? What I do is a job. Yeah. I don't want people coming and talking to me about my job. Yeah. Or whatever. If you don't like my comedy, fine. Yeah. Watch somebody else.
That's okay, yeah. One thing I want people to realize is that no one has time to be hearing your noise about how much you don't like somebody. Because at the end of the day, they're still going to do what they're going to do.
That is why I applaud ITV and all the other channels that are doing their bit to celebrate Black History Month. However, we want to come to a time where Black History Month isn't just concealed to the month of October, but is recognized and acknowledged all the year round.
All the years, yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you so much. You too. Thank you.